Tenderhearted, the podcast for those of us who struggle with being extra sensitive in a less than sensitive world. This is your host, Amy Kelso. I'm a writer, speaker, teacher, and advocate for anyone who is tenderhearted or cares about someone who is. Hello and welcome to Tenderhearted. I am your host, Amy Kelso. Today what I want to do is talk a little bit about how to deal with stressful times in the world. I know there's a lot going on right now in the world, and I don't want to get into all of the details of what's happening, but I know that for a lot of people, it's a very stressful time. So what I want to do today is just kind of go over what you can do as a tenderheart to help navigate difficult times like this, or if you care about a tender heart, maybe helping them. I think the biggest and most important thing is to really be aware of your own mental state. I know a lot of us were trying somewhat to stay informed of what's going on in the world, which is important, but also understanding that there's a limit to perhaps how much we can be informed before it just becomes overwhelming and stressful. So knowing like, I can take a little bit of news, but that's enough. Okay, I need to back up. I need to take care of myself. And that is not a bad thing. There's no need to feel guilty or bad about taking some time away from the news, away from what's happening, because what's really important is do what you can. If there's things you can do to help, definitely do those, but also make sure to take care of yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself, you won't have the energy to get out there and do what you need to do. And so in the long run, by over consuming all the news, by getting overly upset about everything that's happening, rather than actually helping and doing anything about the news, all you're doing is causing yourself to get upset and stressed and all that, taking in all that negative energy, which doesn't actually help anyone. So the biggest thing, as I said, would just be conscious of what you're taking in through social media, friends, whatever it is, however you're getting your information. Have maybe a couple sources. You're like, okay, these ones are reliable. These ones will let me know the basics of what's going on. But I'm not going to consume any more than that, because it does get to be a lot. And perhaps people who are doing these things know that. I think that there are some intentional desires to keep adding news, all these things happening, because when there's so many things happening, we end up just feeling overwhelmed. And what happens for anybody when you get overwhelmed is eventually you just kind of give up, like, I can't do it, there's nothing I can do, and just walk away. Rather than giving up entirely, it's important to take your time and say, okay, I can't handle all of this, I can handle a little bit. This is what I can do. And if everyone just does what they can without becoming overwhelmed, then we will make a difference. But if you end up getting so overwhelmed that you give up and don't do anything, that's not helpful either. However, that means do what you can, but don't feel guilty for what you can't. If you can get out and maybe do a protest, do a protest. If that is too much for you, that's fine. There's so many things that you can do, but by getting discouraged by what you can't do, by getting overwhelmed by everything that's happening, that's not helping anybody. And if nothing else, that is adding more negativity to the universe. So at the very least, try to control your feelings, try to continue to hold your peace, your space, and provide that peace for those around you. Because even if you can only do that, that is a huge thing. That'll help those around you. It creates ripples. So don't discourage what you can do, even if it doesn't seem like you're doing much. Providing hope and peace and comfort in this world is huge, and especially at a time like this when it feels like there's not any of that out there. If you can provide that, that is a big service in itself. So just remember to do what you can. Don't become overwhelmed. Don't give up. Just do what you can, and always focus on yourself first. Like they say, put on your oxygen mask before you put on someone else's. Make sure that you are safe before you try to help others, because if you don't, you get so caught up in helping and saving others, you lose the energy to help anybody, including yourself, and nobody wants that. So there's my general advice for how to deal with some of the craziness that is going on right now. Is just be very aware of what you're taking in, what you can handle, and when you have reached the point that that's all you can handle. And then step back and, again, focus on your own peace, on what you need to keep your energy, to keep your hope alive, because that in itself is a huge benefit to the world.